Hello, good morning learners. This is Jyoti Manral from Uttarakhand Open University. I am an assistant professor in Department of Management Studies. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss Introduction to Business Environment. So let's start. So business environment, the term comprises of two words. One is business and the other one is environment. Firstly, let's understand the meaning of business. So business refers to those economic activities which are connected with production, purchase and sale of goods or supply of services with the main object of earning profit. So the people who are engaged in business earn income in the form of profit. Now let's understand what is business environment. So business environment can be defined as the combination of internal and external factors that influence a company's operating situation. The business environment can include factors such as clients and suppliers, its competitors and owners, improvements in technology, laws and government activities in market, and social and economic trends. Business environment literally means all those aspects that have a bearing on business, such as its strength, weakness, internal power relationships, and orientations of the organization, government policies and regulation, nature of the economy, etc. Now the next one is features of business environment. Some of the features of business environment are as follows. The first one is totality of external forces. Business environment is the sum total of all things external to business firms and as such is aggregative in nature. The second one is specific and general forces. The business environment includes both specific and general forces. Specific forces such as investors, customers, competitors and suppliers, they affect the individual enterprises directly and immediately in their day-to-day working. General forces such as social, political, legal and technological conditions have impact on all business enterprises and thus may affect an individual firm indirectly only. So there are two types of forces, one is specific and the second one is general forces. Now the third feature of business environment is it is dynamic in nature. So business environment is dynamic in nature. It keeps on changing whether in terms of technological improvement, shifts in consumer preferences or entry of new competition in the market. The next feature of business environment, that is relativity. So business environment is a relative concept. Since it differs from country to country and even religion to religion. Political conditions in the USA, for instance, differ from those in China or Pakistan. Similarly, demand for saris may be fairly high in India, whereas it may be almost non-existent in France. So this is an example of relativity, that how this concept of business environment is relative in nature. So it differs from region to region and even from country to country. Now the next feature of business environment is uncertainty. So business environment is largely uncertain as it is very difficult to predict future happenings, especially when environment changes are taking place too frequently, as in the case of information technology or fashion industries. So business environment is very uncertain. It is very difficult to predict the future happenings. Now the next one is multifaceted. So business environment changes are frequently and depend on knowledge and existence of business person. Changes may be viewed differently by different individuals. It may be an opportunity for some or a threat for others. So Business environment concept is multifaceted. A single change, it can be a opportunity for some industries, and the same change can be a threat for other type of industries. So it has different effect on different type of industries. Now next, which we are going to study, that is importance of business environment. What is the importance of business environment? The first importance, that is first mover advantage. So, early identification of opportunities help an enterprise to be first to exploit them instead of losing them to competitors. For example, Maruti Udyog became the leader in the small car market because it was the first to recognize the need of small cars in India. So that's why the study of business environment becomes important, because if you will study the business environment properly, you can get this first mover advantage. Now the second advantage of business environment, that is identification of threats. So identification of possible threats help in taking corrective and improving measures to survive the competition. For example, if an Indian firm finds that a foreign multinational is entering the Indian market, it can meet the threat by adopting measures like by improving the quality of the product, reducing cost of the production, or engaging in aggressive advertising, and so on. So, if you will study the business environment properly, you can identify the threats in advance. If some of the threats are going to happen in future, so you can identify them. The third one, that is coping with rapid changes. All type of enterprises are facing increasingly dynamic environment. In order to effectively cope with these significant changes, firm must understand and examine the environment and develop suitable course of action. Now the next one is giving direction for growth. The interaction with the environment leads to opening up new frontiers of growth for the business firms. It enables the business to identify the areas for growth and expansion of their activities. The next advantage or importance of business environment is improving performance. The enterprise that continuously monitor their environment and adopt suitable business practices are the ones which not only improve their present performance but also continue to succeed in the market for a longer period. Now the next one is meeting competition. It helps the firms to analyze the competitors' strategies and formulate their own strategies accordingly in order to cope with the rapidly increasing competition. The next one is image building. Environmental understanding helps the business organizations in improving their image by showing their sensitivity to the environment within which they are working. The next one is continuous learning. So, environmental analysis makes the task of managers easier in dealing with business challenges. The managers are motivated to continuously update their knowledge, understanding, and skills to meet the predicted changes in realm of business. Now, the next thing which we are going to cover, that is components of business environment. So, business environment is divided into two parts. One is internal environment and the other one is external environment. Again, the external environment is further classified into two types. One is microenvironment and the other one is macro environment. So, the components of business environment. Firstly, let's start with the external environment. So, external environment, it covers of two parts. One is macro environment and one is micro environment. So firstly, in today's lecture, we will cover only macro environment factors, and in the next lecture, we will discuss the micro environment and the internal environment. So, in the micro environment, the first environment, that is political environment. The political and administrative system in a country dictates policy formulation, its implementation, and control of business. Whenever there is a change in political scenario of country, there will be a change in economic policies. Political ideology of government, political stability, relation of government with other countries, center-state relationship, welfare activities of government. All these are part of political environment. The next one, that is legal environment. This includes a set of laws and regulations which influence the business organizations and their operations. Every business organizations have to abide by and work within the framework of the law. The next one is social and cultural environment. It is an environment of society as a whole. Family system, caste and religion, education, habits and preferences, language and customs and traditions, value systems and business ethics and urbanization. So basically social environment and cultural environment is consist of the society and the cultural traditions which are followed in the environment. The next one is economic environment. So economic environment includes the type of economic system that exists in the economy, the nature and structure of the economy, the phase of the business cycle, for example, the conditions of boom or recession, the fiscal and monetary policy of the government, foreign trade and foreign investment policies of the government. All these are part of economic environment. These economic policies of the government present both the opportunities as well as threats for the business firms. The next one is technological environment. The nature of technology used for production of goods and services is an important factor responsible for the success of a business firm. Technology consists of the type of machines and process available for use by a firm and the way of doing things. The improvement in technology raises total factors productivity of a firm and reduces unit cost of output. The use of superior technology by a firm gives it a competitive advantage over its rival firms. Now, the next environment, that is demographic environment. Demographic environment includes the size and growth of population, life expectancy of the people, rural-urban distribution of population, the technological skills and educational level of labor forces. All these demographic features have an important bearing on the functioning of business firm. The growth rate of population and the age composition of population determines the demand pattern of goods. When the population of a country is growing at high rate, its child population will be relatively large. This means demand for products such as baby food, which caters to the need of the children, will be relatively high. On the other hand, if population of a country is stable and life expectancy of the people is high, this will cause greater portion of elderly aged people in the population of a country. So demographic environment is also important for business firms as it determines the choice of technology by them. So in today's lecture, we have covered the meaning of business environment, the features of business environment, the importance of business environment, and then we have covered the components of business environment. In the components, we have covered only the macro environment, and in the further lecture we are going to discuss the micro environment as well as the internal business environment. So thank you.